Alright all, and welcome back to a new video and the Day 5 and final day's preview of the Punchestown Festival for 2021. It has been absolutely brilliant this week. Well, it's been brilliant because it's still jump racing, and unfortunately the tide is turning. The guineas on this weekend, tomorrow the 2,000 guineas, Sunday the 1,000 guineas, and the flat will get cranked into, and hopefully we'll be able to keep things ticking over during the summer and maybe land a few winners in the process. But Punchestown today, back to a good day. So we're 2-2, the decider tomorrow. We had a good day today, thanks firmly to El Barra for Sean O'Keefe, and Willie Mullins winning at 14-1 from the front. It was a very good ride from Sean O'Keefe. Also I put him up as well, but put a horse into your tracker. That Get My Drift for Mouse Morris and Mark Walsh. I think he's some horse. I cannot wait to see him over a fence in future. I think he's a lovely, lovely type of horse, especially on better ground. Asterion Forlange, it all clicked for him as well. He won at 3-1. That was a very good performance as well. So overall we were up, I think, around 7 points on the day. And I think we're overall up maybe 9 points on the week. So unless we have a complete and utter disaster, which isn't beyond the bounds, let's just put that out there. But unless we have a complete and utter disaster, we'll end up at least scrubbing our face at Punchestown, which, to be honest, if you'd offered me at the start of the week, I'd have taken. I'm going to bang through these races tomorrow. They're starting off with the 2:15, the 3 mile Banks race, the cross-country race, and you can just watch my day 3 preview because I put up 2 horses for the Latouche, and the 2 of them didn't end up completing, and both went quite early. I'm going to back them both again. Alpha Day's Obeaux at 3-1. He was just awfully unfortunate, but he loves these fences, I think, and I think he's got a big race in him. And Ballyboker Bridge at 16-1 each way. He just slipped up on a bend. It was very unfortunate. But Dennis O'Regan in the saddle for him. I think he could go well at a price as well. 4 places each way in that. I know the likes of Never Rushagon all have a chance, but I'd take those 2 to maybe right the wrongs of the Latouche Cup. We've seen so far this week how some horses have been able to come out and perform yet again. The likes of Singing Banjo. Hopefully these 2 could go and do so. The 250, very, very tricky. A 3 mile 7 handicap chase. And I'm going to take a horse I backed in the Scottish National and somehow finished third, Mr. Fogpatches. He's 6-1. I'm going to back him each way off a mark of 128. I think he's a very well handicapped horse. If he can sort out his jumping, he'll win. He did maybe have a hard enough race in the Scottish National, very hard to know, but they are turning him out only a couple of weeks later, so that has to be a concern. But you have to trust Pat Fahey to do the right thing here. He's off a low enough weight, off 128, and I think, as I say, if he was to jump a little bit better, he'd have won the Scottish National. So if he can go and put in a better round of jumping, he surely should go close. And the one I'm going to play as a flyer is John Ryan's horse, and this Dromore lad at 25-1. Philip Donovan takes £7 off this horse, off a mark of 130. He won the Cork National earlier in the year in over 3.5 miles. All this horse does is stay. He might want a little bit softer ground, ideally, but you're getting 25-1 about a guaranteed stayer in a race that doesn't have many guaranteed stayers whatsoever. So I'm going to take a little flyer on him at a massive price of 25. The 320, the Mayor's Champion Hurdle, look hard getting away from Concertista, but I am going to take her on. I'm going to back Stormy Ireland in this at 7-2. Just going to take a chance. I thought she was very, very impressive when beating French Dynamite in the Keeling's Hurdle, in the Keeling Strawberry Hurdle at Fairyhouse, or certainly was the Keeling Strawberry Hurdle. It used to be called that anyway. I thought she was impressive that day. French Dynamite kind of upheld the form with a gallant 4th in the Stayers race on Thursday even. Day 3, and I think she has a very, very good chance, and if she can get into a rhythm out in front for Danny Mullins, I think she could take a bit of stopping. The 4 o'clock, hard race to get away from Willie Mullins' horse, just because I do believe, the stats tell themselves in terms of the amount of winners he's had, but Quilixios is in there. He beat Ocean Calor and Zanahiyr. He's not a horse that I've particularly taken a shining to just yet, and I am a little bit dubious about Henry's horses, even though Honeysuckle went out and won today. She wasn't at her best. I am a little bit dubious about them. And I am a bit dubious about Denise Foster's horses, but that being said, I'm going to take a chance on Zanahiyr. I really want him to do the business, and at 11-4, I'm going to play him. I think he's got a very good chance. Zanahiyr in this. I couldn't just take that Triumph Hurdle form at face value the way he ran. I think he is better than that. I think a sharper 2 miles I think will suit this horse down to the ground. And I know Denise Foster's horses, they haven't ran much this week. They haven't ran up to much, but this horse is a very quality horse, and hopefully he might be able to return to some of the form he showed earlier in the season. 4:30, a tricky 3 mile handicap chase. Going to take a horse that was unfortunately left alone at the start earlier in the week. 10-10 for Philip Dempsey and Mark Walsh. He's currently 15-2, best price over Mark 139. Some very, very consistent form, including a second in the Leinster National 2 starts back. As I say, he was left alone at the start in the Foxy Jacks race over 2.5 miles. I think actually a step up to 3 miles will see this horse to better effect, and I think at 15-2 I'd be willing to take him and forgive on that unfortunate mishap the other day. And the other horse, which takes probably a leap of faith, but as it did to take a Styrian Forlange, I'm going to back Brahma Bull in this at 20-1. He's top weight over a mark of 148 for Brian Hayes and Willie Mullins, but he's a classy enough individual, and he's up against handicappers here. I know he's been disappointing the last twice in both the Thyestes and the Irish National, but this is a slightly softer race, and he's been dropped a couple of pounds for those efforts. If he can get into any type of jumping rhythm, I think he'd have a good chance at 20-1, and Mullins' horses are running off the charts. The 5:05 competitive 2.5 mile handicap hurdle, and I know some people will tell me he's over the top, and he's had a hard old season, but I just can't see why on earth I wouldn't back the Shunter in this at 6-1. I think he's got a decent enough chance, and I will back him each way. Because I'm slightly ahead of the game, I suppose, from where I thought I was. There are a few conservative picks in here, the likes of a 6-1 each way, but to be honest, if he won at 6-1, I'd be absolutely ecstatic. So the Shunter, he's been a progressive horse, back off a lower hurdle mark of 143, hasn't been over hurdle since winning the Moore Battle at Kelso. That form has worked out a treat, and I think he's got a very good chance in this, Mark Walsh in the saddle. And the other one, perhaps a hint of a cliff horse. Not a cliff horse, because he has done me a few good turns this year and has always ran his race. It's a horse called Unexpected Depth. He's top weight in this of 144, and perhaps he's not screamingly well handicapped in this, but he's 28-1, and I just can't understand it with the majority of bookies going 6 places. 2.5 miles, they say that he didn't appreciate that the last day. I think he was just out of his depth in the Stormy Ireland race, beating 25 lengths. He was entitled to be out of his depth at that level. Back in a handicap, he'll be seen to much better effect. Barry Brown takes 3 off from Frolly McKiernan, and his bumper horse just failed to finish in the places despite running a big race today, Supreme Jet. I thought he was actually going to lay a glove on the winner for a few strides there turning in, but he faded out of it, but he ran an encouraging race. I think this Unexpected Depth has a bit about him, and I'm going to play him at 28-1. I just think he's well overpriced. The 5:40, the Mayor's Handicap Earl, going to play 2 again. Going to play Spruced up for Eddie Harty and Simon Torrance. Perhaps one that you'd have to have a little bit of a leap of faith to back at 15-2. But she's a very, very well handicapped horse. She likes going right-handed, and I know she was 8th the last day, but there was an awful lot of money for her. I think a little bit more was expected, and you wonder whether she might be able to recompensate those that went in on the gamble the last day. 15-2, I'm willing to take her each way. And the other mare is Socially Distant for Paul Nolan and Brian Cooper. I think they were very disappointed with this horse the last day at Wexford. I think they thought she'd win over 3 miles. She was a little keen, a little too fresh, ended up weakening out of it. She just didn't stay. Back to 2.5 miles off 109. She's a well-handicapped horse, especially based off that maiden hurdle win at Wexford 2 starts back. She's a mare with plenty of ability, and also shapes like a big field handicap could actually suit her, because she can be a buzzy type, and I think a hood on her, get her buried away, she might be able to come home well. The final race, 6:10, the bumper, hopefully the lucky last for us. I'm going to leave it where we started with Willie Mullins. Willie the Coo for Willie Mullins and Patrick Mullins. A 4-year-old gets a bit of weight from the favourite Gilly Billy, I believe his name is, for Dromore Head, who's won his point-to-point very impressively. He's a well touted type, but that being said, going to take him on with this Mullins horse. Hopefully he can run well and finish the week as we've started, with Mullins banging in winners. Anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and if you did, please do give it a like and subscribe to the channel down below, and of course let me know how you got on today. Hopefully you were able to have a few quid on El Bar and a Styrian Forlange and had a decent day at it. and also let me know who you fancy for tomorrow's racing, the last day of the National Hunt season in Ireland. It's a bit of a pain to say that, I must confess, but that being said, it's been a great year, and hopefully we can finish with a winner or two tomorrow. Until next time I see you, which will be covering the flat racing probably next weekend, hope you stay safe, stay well, land a few bets tomorrow. Also, sorry, little one, just before we finish, if you're in Dublin or the Leinster area, catch me on Sunshine FM tomorrow morning again at 9:45. Luckily being asked to go on again after banging in 2 winners out of 4 last week. So hopefully that all goes well again, fingers crossed. And until next time, hope you stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you guys then. Cheers.